Dr. Jayousi, I wanted to ask you, few people in the Israeli establishment pointing out to the fact that within the Palestinian authorities, within your education systems, there is I would say a very high level of incitement of education to hate Israel, maybe for a good reason. But that education is preventing any productive environment in order to go towards peace resolution. And you can see it in the Palestinian state television. You can see it in school classes, which teach the young Palestinians that Israel is not only the current enemy, but maybe they are bad by heart, and that's something very deep and rooted within Israelis, that they hate us and we should fight them. I'm just bringing it up because I saw examples, so I'm not just imagining.
This is not the case, absolutely not. Especially, I mean, there isn't in the curriculum. I mean, there is much literature that has been written about incitement in both sides also, and this is the case that we have that the Israelis and so on was portrayed in the Palestinian literature, actually sometimes in a positive stereotype, I have to say, that they are highly technological and highly smart people, so it's not always negative. At the same time, I have to say that I was part of the curricula team, and I know that I know the philosophy behind it. There isn't one line that says, and I'm sure of that, that says we need to teach our kids against Israel. This is not at all the case. Now, the whole context is educational. Education is not only bound in classrooms. Mm-hmm. Education is the context. If you go to, I am a peace educator and I go to the university and I want to teach my students about peace education, they will laugh at me. I mean, they passed through checkpoints and they were humiliated and so on. What are you going to talk about? I mean, the real education is what's going on. This is the real environment. Even if I teach them utopian thing, they won't believe you. I mean, forget about what the teachers are saying. What we need to do, we need to make a real change. The status quo and the ostrich style, to put our heads in the sand and to say, okay, the Israelis are now living alone and the Palestinians are alone. This is a big mistake. There is a conflict. We are just closing our eyes on it. It's ongoing. It hasn't been solved. It might be, and we have to think of real solutions. Education is one strong means of change, and we have to use it. But it is a very difficult mission for me as a peace educator, really, to promote peace issues within such a context, within a context of anti-reconciliation. And not to mention that incitement is coming from both sides, from people who are highly valuable by the societies, either rabbis or sheikhs or I don't know what. This causes lots of incitements in both sides and makes hatred and makes the gap very huge amongst the people. And the real thing is in the hands of decision makers and politicians, that they have to really not to survive their own election period, to think only how just to manage the conflict, not to solve it. This is the situation, that the leaders now, they are managing the conflict, they are not trying to solve it. And this deepens the hatred, and this widens the gap, and this makes the new generation hating each other. This is the real thing. It's not in education. The real education stuff is coming from the context itself, from the politicians, whom their words are full of incitement, from the religious people in both sides, I have to say. And this makes the gap very high. So actually we have to work on a real solution to make a real conducive environment for peace.
Wishful thinking and a very good hope for the future.